Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Keeping on the DL. My name's Dave. His name's Lambert. We got quite the show for you here today. We got a lot to talk about, man. Got a lot to talk about. Lots to go over. Lots to discuss. If you're new to the program, here's how it goes down. We talk about some gaming stuff. We talk about some football, just because that's what we're into. It's what we're all about here. And it's kind of stuff that we follow enough to where maybe we feel the need that we can provide our opinions on it. Maybe not the right opinions. Maybe not even good opinions at that. Honestly, this show sucks. So, do what you want with that info. But for those of you that do watch on the regular, we appreciate you and much love. Be sure to check us out on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, and on YouTube. And you can also listen to the podcast on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts. But we got a lot to discuss, man. We got a lot happening in the gaming space. We got a lot happening in the NFL. A lot going on. But I mean, first things first, man. How are you, good sir?
I'm fantastic.
That's fantastic. I'm glad to hear it.
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear it, brother.
It's been all right. I can't complain. It is, it's just one of those things that your life is like in a state where it's not like dog shit enough to complain about, but it's not like great enough to, write home about. So
yeah, I feel that.
It's all right.
Just going through the motions.
Just content. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I feel that. Definitely feel that. We're gonna jump the gun here a little bit. Just a super quick thought. Jalen Hurts contract. You're cool with it? You like it?
Big contract.
Yeah.
I like the contract a lot. Because I think it's a win-win for both sides.
Yeah.
Obviously, Jalen gets to be the number one highest paid player of all time.
Yep.
And number two, his cap hits are stupid low.
Yeah.
Because Howie Roseman is a literal genius. So
yeah.
We're at, I think, like the first 3 years of the contract, there's not a single year that's over a 20 mil cap hit.
Yep.
And then, because it's technically a 6-year deal, I think, because it doesn't take effect until next season, I think.
Correct. Yeah.
And then even the fourth season, the cap hit is I think 25 or something, maybe 30, something along the lines of that. And then I think the last 2 years are fucking, I don't know, 80 mil a piece or some shit like that. But
yeah, something like that.
Obviously, they're not going to pay that, so they're just going to either write him a new contract at that point or just do something to fucking optimize it to pay less than that, because that would be insane to have that on the books. But the contract's really awesome, and I'm super excited for Jalen Hurts to play it out and see how he does. And I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree, but we'll talk more about that later. So guys, again, we got a big episode here. All right, so sit back, relax, grab some popcorn, and hey, let's jump into it. So, starting with some gaming news. So you and I mean, we talk about Call of Duty a lot on this show. Just kind of both being big Call of Duty fans, just throughout our gaming lives. As we've grown, and as we continue to grow, we continue to realize how much we hate Call of Duty at the same time. But the overall parent, publisher of it all, Activision, we've discussed this in the past, but the Microsoft Activision Blizzard deal, a lot happening in that space as a whole, from day one, to where, ultimately, long story short, the biggest issue there, the biggest concern with a lot of people, one of the biggest people being Sony, is that it creates more of a monopoly, in the gaming space, considering how many companies Microsoft has bought out lately.
Yeah.
But in the latest reports, the UK has blocked the Microsoft Activision Blizzard deal. Microsoft has said that they will appeal it, but there is no timeline as to when that will happen. Um, and in August, if I'm not mistaken, I think is when the United States will be beginning their lawsuit um, against this deal as well.
Yeah, I was gonna say the one of the things I guess Microsoft could do if they really if they really felt like it was hypothetically if everyone else says yes, they could technically just make the decision to not sell their products in the UK and still be fine. But
Sure.
I don't think they'd really want to do that as a
I
company.
yeah no I'd imagine that'd be potentially a lot of money you're giving up just for that, especially when you consider one of your products is one of the highest grossing and top selling games every single year and of all time for that matter.
Yeah,
um so yeah, no, I mean that'd be a dumb move on their part for sure. But
potentially. Yeah.
um all this, by the way, comes, I think I believe about a month ago was when it was announced that the EU was likely going to uh, give this a go. Give this deal the green light.
Mhm.
Um, so it's you know it's funny how a month later now you have the UK who say, yeah, we're not so sure.
Yeah, their
Um,
whole concern is I think they were worried that if Microsoft does this, it gives them a huge incentive to increase the cost of Game Pass,
yeah.
which is what they were concerned about, is that they could just like whatever double quadruple the price or whatever,
I
and
was
it
gonna
would
say, I
affect
think,
gamers in a negative way.
yeah,
But
I was gonna say, I think I saw something about like how it would mostly affect like the cloud gaming space, kind of more than anything else.
yeah, but I mean the Game Pass price increasing, I think that's just gonna happen anyway. So whether the Activision deal goes through or not,
Yeah,
I don't think it's feasible for Microsoft to continue providing Game Pass so cheap. So it's just one of those things that I think that'll happen nonetheless.
yeah. No, that's I mean that's definitely a fair assessment, to say the least. Um, yeah, I wouldn't be too shocked um by that. I mean, if let's say that price goes up, like let's say
Mhm.
they bump it up to what's the current cost of it now? Is it 10 on its own?
Ultimate is 15, so I guess
Ultimate's
we just go off
15.
that.
Yeah, all right. We'll just say that, right? So let's say they bump it up to like I don't know, 30.
Yeah,
Do you pay for it still?
fuck no.
Yeah, I don't either. I
Yeah,
don't either.
no, 30's too much.
Yeah.
If it went up $5 to 20, I'd probably still pay it. But if it
Ah,
jumps up to even to 25,
even
um,
20 I think is too much for me.
yeah, even if it goes to 25, I wouldn't pay that.
Yeah.
And I think I wouldn't be shocked to see a lot of people not pay for that.
Yeah. I mean don't get me wrong, like Game Pass and like just Ultimate as a whole is it's a good deal for, for what you get out of it.
Oh, definitely.
Especially
Yeah.
especially if you're somebody who plays the Xbox regularly and things of that nature. Personally, I don't even own an Xbox.
I got a
And
Series S that I've played once.
yeah, and I'm sitting here, I'm paying for Game Pass every month, and I hardly ever touch it. So there's times where I forget I even have it. Truth be told.
Yeah, true.
Um, so that's just kind of how that goes
Dude,
down.
Minecraft Legends just came out though, man.
Oh yeah, true,
We got to
true,
get
true,
on that,
true,
bro.
true, true.
I'll be honest.
But
I have
yeah,
no idea what the game even is.
yeah,
I couldn't tell you.
no idea, no clue myself. But um, but yeah, it's all interesting, and we'll obviously continue to cover it as as time progresses.
Yep.
And and try to keep up with it and and give our thoughts and takes when that time comes. But some other stuff going on in the gaming world. Um this Friday, if I'm not mistaken. Star Wars Jedi
Yep.
Survivor comes out, right?
Indeed, Friday. Yeah.
Which is very exciting.
Yeah, I'm beyond hyped, dude.
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting because like I never loved like when a game was new. I never liked the first game because I thought it was like the mechanics were frustrating.
Sure.
I thought the combat was like really clunky and the movement was glitchy or whatever. And I played that at the time on Series X. But then like years later, I played it. I think it came out in 2018 at this point already. Like Jesus, maybe 2019, something like that.
It's been a bit.
Yeah. I think it might have been 2019. But then I
think
I
19,
bought it
yeah.
on PC and I replayed it semi recently, maybe like a year ago at this point, maybe not even. And dude, I fell in love with the game. It's so good.
Yeah, I mean, like I Fallen Order, I fell in love with kind of from the beginning, minus dealing with that the giant frog looking thing. That
He's a
shit was,
fucker.
yeah, that shit was annoying. But no, I fell in love with the game. Growing up being a massive just Star Wars fanatic.
Mhm.
Just throughout all these years. Just from day one, it looked good, man. It looked very promising, and
Yep.
and then yeah, you hop right in. I originally bought it for PC. Eventually got it for PlayStation.
Mhm.
And that's actually where I finished the game out was on PlayStation. But
Yep.
I yeah, man, I really really enjoyed the game. Phenomenal story. Combat could be hit or miss sometimes, but I feel like that style of game as a whole can kind of be that way. Um,
Yeah, they were
like,
going for like a weird, like more action based Dark Souls style of combat. It seemed,
yeah,
which kind of worked out, but it wasn't like I would say as polished as like a Souls combat
no,
system would be.
and that's I was gonna say, and that's the biggest thing. Like I think of like Souls games or even like Ghost of Tsushima, for example, which shares a
Mhm.
very similar combat style. Sekiro, same thing. Like those style of like that combat style from those kind of games, like they have a tendency to where like they have a tendency to where they're not polished in the end.
Yeah, there's
um
always like a weird thing with them.
yeah, there are definitely some that are better than others, and there are some that are still extremely playable, and it's stuff you can kind of overlook. But um yeah, I'm always kind of hit or miss on that. But anywho, Jedi Survivor looks phenomenal. And early reviews of it are also just absolutely incredible right now.
Yeah, pretty
Um,
good. Yeah.
so super super stoked about it. Are you jumping into it day one?
Oh yeah, dude. Right after draft on Thursday, midnight slaps. I'm booting that game up.
Hopping right into it.
The only thing from like what early reviews are indicating is that the PC performance isn't like insane. Um,
Yeah,
which seems to be like
I was gonna say it seems to
a
be a
common
theme
thing.
anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't.
no,
Yeah,
100%.
I think it seems like all these games that are sticking with or that are still like on Unreal Engine 4 because they're still finishing up development obviously from years ago.
Yeah,
They just are not performing very well nowadays.
yeah.
And it seems like stuttering and like low frame rate dips in certain parts of the game are what people are complaining about. But EA claims that there's a day one patch. We'll see if it actually fixes anything. I feel like day one patches usually do absolutely fucking nothing to fix
Accurate,
shit like that.
accurate.
But we'll see. But dude, Jedi
Yeah.
Survivor, so cool. The world is bigger. There's
Yep.
like more characters, more things
Yep.
to do. They added more combat styles, so they added a Kylo Ren style lightsaber now,
Oh,
which
really?
is yeah, super. It's like a heavy style lightsaber.
I actually didn't know
Super
that.
super excited to play into that. And they added a lightsaber and blaster combo as one of your options as well. And there's like different trees, I guess, to go into
Hmm.
for each one. So they do kind of want you to spec into one.
Yeah, right.
I think I'm gonna do the Kylo Ren one because Kylo Ren is. I don't know. I think Kylo Ren's one of my favorite Star Wars characters of all time. I think he's really
I
cool.
actually kind of feel that. I
Yeah,
kind of feel
he's a
that.
super good character. and they
Yeah,
did them dirty, but it is what it is.
they
But
did.
we're not going to get into the sequel conversations because
Yeah, right.
it's too much to talk about.
Yeah,
But
we'll be here all night.
yeah, the game looks great though.
Yeah, no, 100%. That made me think of a question. Not necessarily a sequel conversation or anything like that, but favorite lightsaber from Star Wars.
Ooh. Favorite lightsaber. I think Count Dooku's.
Interesting.
That
He had like
lightsaber is
the
sick.
curved handle to it, right?
Yeah, yeah. That thing is so
Interesting.
fucking sick
It
looking.
is pretty dope.
I feel like it'd be very impractical to use, but I mean, bro, who cares? You're styling.
It is pretty dope. I think I think I gotta go. I think I gotta go with the dual blade, man, the Darth Maul's.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there hasn't been anything else really like it. And yeah, just like when you first see it, man, it just kind of just opens up both sides of it. You're just like, oh shit,
Holy
it's
shit.
about to go down.
Yeah. No doubt.
Which, thank God, because the fucking entire movie's so boring. But
yeah, true. At least they ended on something cool.
oh yeah, true. Like the meme or like the video of like Joe Rogan and Daniel Cormier, they're commentating UFC fight, and it's like them like freaking out, like holding each other back and shit.
Oh yeah.
I saw somebody put that, and then they captioned it saying the security guards on Naboo watching the fight. It's like, dude, it's like the editing of everything. Oh, it's perfect. It's fucking perfect. But yeah, no, I'd have to pick his. Kylo Ren's is like maybe a close second.
Kylo Ren's is pretty unique.
Especially because the idea that the reason why there's those, like ports on the left and right side of it is that the crystal inside is actually so powerful that you had like they're literally exhaust ports because of how powerful the lightsaber actually is.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's cool lore.
It's pretty cool.
Should have been the main character, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah. They definitely did him dirty, especially like just as a whole, like the whole oh god, what was his name? Snope. It's been a while since I watched them. Snoke, that's what it was.
Snape.
I don't know, man.
Snape from Harry Potter, man.
I don't fucking remember.
Snape, what are you doing here?
Yeah. He like it seemed like it would be a really cool character to have, and then he just dies so quickly and easily, and it just really just kind of makes you go like, what the fuck?
I'll never. Oh my god, man. We could talk about the fucking Last Jedi all night long, bro.
Yeah.
Like, what? Why even? I don't even have words, dude. Why introduce this character and just have it be a moment where Kylo Ren rebels to kill him, just for Kylo Ren to still stay on that side? What the fuck? What is happening?
Yeah.
And then what they make the villain in the third movie? Fuck off! Just stop with this shit, bro. I'm not joking. A toddler could have wrote this shit better.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. I mean, the Rise of Skywalker was it was better than Last Jedi. I'll give it that.
Yeah, I guess.
I'll give it that, and I'll watch the Last Jedi over fucking episode 1 or episode 2. The Phantom Menace or Attack of the Clones.
Yeah, true. Those are pretty bad. Although I think both those movies had their moments.
They didn't. The Phantom Menace, the only good moment it had was literally the end of the movie, with the final fight scene.
Okay, bro, you cannot deny that the stadium fight in episode 2 was not cool.
It wasn't,
bro.
It wasn't.
It was cool.
Nah. I thought it was cool as a kid, especially like when like the pods go up in the air and then like they shoot them down and they come back down and there's just all this dust. So then you just see all the lasers going back and forth from the blasters, like in the dust itself, and you can't really see anything. Like I thought that was cool as a kid, but like as I've gotten older and the more and more I've watched that movie, the more and more I'm just like, nah, this is actually just lame. It's not. It's not cool. It ain't fun. The whole stadium fight thing doesn't last long enough. They cut away from it way too much. Like it's not cool.
And George Lucas always said he wasn't
It's
a
not
great
cool.
director.
It's not cool. And on top of that, talk about like final fight scenes. The whole just Dooku, and like obviously we know why as time has progressed, but the whole like force battle between Dooku and Yoda, like that's your final fight scene. Like
Yeah.
what? Yeah,
Yeah, I feel like Dooku's really cool. Dooku's a really good character.
Mm-hmm.
But
Extremely good character.
I don't know why we focused him being like the main fight in episode 2. Because it just seems like it didn't really like, I don't know.
Especially when like they do him so dirty in episode 3, where
Oh yeah. That is
right from the get go,
unforgivable,
like,
bro.
yep, see you, dude.
Unforgivable. No, thankfully episode 3 is fucking insanely good. But
Great movie. Love that movie. But I saw something recently the other day. I guess before the Obi-Wan series came out, Hayden Christensen and uh Ewan McGregor, they met up and they were actually like looking back at like old footage from not only like from them during filming and stuff for episode 2 and episode 3, but also uh like actually going through and like looking at the final cut footage from some of it, and just various clips and stuff, and it was pretty wholesome to watch and to see, but it was cool.
Yeah, that's really cool. I know they cut in the I know the fight between Anakin and Obi-Wan, like they ended up cutting a lot of different scenes from that and like the final cut.
Yeah, I remember reading that somewhere. But, it was also cool. Like Ewan McGregor had always done this whole like anytime he kind of greeted almost anyone in any of those movies. I don't know if you like ever picked up on it. It was just that hello there. Like it was just always the same tone and just always said that he greeted like Hayden that same way. And when they met to do it, it was just again just really cool, really wholesome to see as a giant nerd and Star Wars fan. But God, he's amazing. I love him. But yeah, anywho, got a little sidetracked. But yeah, Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Super stoked. Can't wait. It's gonna be a ton of fun. And yeah, I'm excited. Friday. Does it drop at midnight on like Thursday?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Or if we move to the West Coast, we could play it at 9 p.m.
Yeah, true. Well, that's why I was curious, because like typically, it like they'll do like a West Coast release at midnight, meaning like 3 a.m. our time.
Yep, it is going to be at midnight.
Okay, all right, sick. It's pretty lit. Pretty lit. But anywho, moving on. Before we continue with the show, do you want to shout out our sponsor, W Energy? It's where I got this sick hat from that I'm wearing.
Can I just say something real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Dubby, restock your fucking Dragonade already, bro. It's been weeks. I can't buy it. I want to buy it, and I can't. I go ahead
Yeah.
and continue.
Yeah. So anywho, they have a wide variety of flavors to choose from, aside from just the Dragonade. I have a couple sitting here personally. One of them that I kind of wanted to showcase is the Big Energy Tears. It's called. It is a blueberry flavored blend. That's it's actually really solid, but all kinds of really good stuff in it. No sort of artificial flavors or sweeteners, no sugar, anything of that degree. 200 milligrams of caffeine. There's about 30 scoops in one of these containers, so figure one scoop a day. It'll last you quite a bit. And yeah, all in all, pretty solid, pretty solid stuff. But be sure to check them out. There's a link in the description down below. And be sure to use our code KDL to get 10% off your order. Once again, that's
right.
KDL. So shout out W. Shout out W. We love you. But moving on into some NFL stuff. Into some good old foosball. Lot happened since the last episode we did. And we'd literally be here all night if we discussed everything that was kind of going on. But we'll just talk about some of the more some of the bigger stuff. Starting with Jalen Hurts' contract. We already kind of alluded to it a little bit. But the Eagles and Jalen Hurts agreed to a 5-year, $255 million contract extension. With $179.3 million in guarantees. You had already kind of touched on it. In the end, a win-win for both sides, right? Jalen's getting paid, becomes the richest player in the history of the NFL. For now, anyways, because we know that'll change eventually.
Yeah, whatever QB signs next.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, they lock him up. They feel like they've got their guy. They feel like they've got the guy of the future in Jalen, and he gets paid. He gets paid in the end. And I know you said you're happy with it. Do you think it's fully deserving? Do you think like this is maybe a little too early to be offering that kind of money?
I would normally say that if it wasn't Jalen Hurts, but because it's Jalen Hurts and he has the attitude and work ethic that he does, which is literally the best attitude and work ethic out of anyone in the NFL, I think it's deserved.
Yeah, I mean, he's always been the guy who I remember they talked about it during the I believe it was the build up to the Super Bowl. He was always the guy that was looked at as couldn't cut the mustard, as they say, right? Like he was always the guy that
Saying
that you've never heard that? I think like can't cut the mustard is the actual saying, but
that is the first time I've ever heard that.
Really?
Yep.
Huh. I think it's a Southern thing, so maybe that's what it is. But don't ask me what it means because I have no fucking clue. But
yeah, I don't really get it.
Yeah, I have no idea. But anywho, yeah, I mean throughout his entire playing life, between high school, college, and in the NFL, he's always been looked at as the guy that just wasn't good enough. Just couldn't do it, couldn't be successful. Obviously got benched in college and then transfers and goes on to be an absolute dog of a player.
Yeah. He's a fucking dog.
He's a dog. As Pat McAfee likes to say. And yeah, no, again, I mean dude's a beast. I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head, right? Great attitude. He's a great leader in the locker room. He's a great presence to have in that Philadelphia locker room. But But yeah, I mean, it's crazy because like you've only truly had one great season. I don't know if I pay you that kind of money that early.
Yeah, but when you think about it, it's like before he became a starter, the Eagles went 4-12. Okay. His first year as a starter, they go 9-8 and they make the playoffs. Second year as a full-time starter, they make the Super Bowl. Why wouldn't you pay him?
I mean, yeah, I guess. I'm not saying the dude doesn't deserve to be paid because he definitely does. I just don't know. Like to me, he still has another. He still would have had another year on his rookie deal, right?
Yeah,
Right.
but
So
that's still going through.
right.
He's still
I
getting
don't.
paid whatever his base was.
Yeah. To me, I don't know if I. I don't know. To me, maybe I wait. You know what I mean? Like, give me like halfway through the season or something, and see where we're at then.
But then you got to pay him 55 mil a year.
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
The
guess that's
earlier you get
fair.
it done, the better of a deal it's going to be.
True. That is true. I don't know. I part of me just feels like there's a bit of a risk in this deal, and like something just feels off about it. But then again, I'm not an NFL executive. I've never even been a part of the NFL in any sort of capacity whatsoever. So like, who the fuck am I guess? But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm good for him at the end of the day. Good for him. Good for the Eagles. Especially obviously if he can continue to produce at the level that he produced at last season. But
I know you're jealous. You're a Patriots fan.
yeah,
I
right.
get
Yeah, it
it.
sucks, man. No,
I get it. You're
yeah,
stuck with fucking Mac Jones. I
yeah.
understand. But
Which we'll actually talk a little about, and we'll talk a little bit about that in a little bit. But another big piece of news that happened, just literally just yesterday. Or was it? Yeah, yesterday. Um, uh, Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers becomes a New York Jet.
yep, finally.
Yeah, finally, right? Finally, the deal went through. There was talks that it may not have, potentially happened until draft day. Um, which there was some concerns on both sides at that point because like how long into the draft are we getting, and are we
Hmm.
potentially missing out on a pick or something along those lines.
Right.
Um, but yeah, man, Mr. Aaron Rodgers wearing green. He's got the number 8.
Yeah, it's
Um,
so weird, dude. It's so weird.
it is so strange
When a player
to
is on a team for that long, same thing
see.
with Brady. When Brady went to the Bucks,
Yeah,
it's just it's
yeah.
very, very odd.
It honestly, Brady with the Bucks, I know he won a Super Bowl with them. It still doesn't feel real. Like it's still like to this day just doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
And now seeing Aaron Rodgers holding up a New York Jets jersey with the number 8 on it, not even number 12 because good old Joe Namath, but yeah, holding the number 8 on it, it just don't feel right.
Hmm.
It just feels so weird.
Yep.
And
Absolutely.
I could only imagine what it's like being a Packers fan at that point. But yeah. All in all though, I think the trade as a whole, not bad. It's like very split reactions though. It's like 50-50. Some people are saying that they think highly of the trade and they think it was kind of a win for both sides. Jets fans are happy because they uh not only now finally have a quarterback, even if let's say it is just for a year. Um they finally now have a quarterback that can get them into the playoffs and maybe make a run.
Yeah, it's just
Um
it's just a good thing for the Jets because they could finally
100%.
just at least see what their roster is capable of with the
100%.
QB that could at least function.
They didn't really have to give up a first round pick either cuz they just ultimately just swapped first round picks.
Not as of right now.
Um,
There is a conditional second.
there is the conditional pick, correct, for next season.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, let's just go over the details, right? So the Jets receive Aaron Rodgers. They get Green Bay's first round pick this year and Green Bay's fifth round pick for this year. Green Bay receives the Jets' first round pick, which is the 13th pick in the draft. Um, they get the Jets' second round pick, which is the 42nd pick, the sixth round pick, and then the conditional second round pick. And the details of that is if Aaron plays, I believe it's 60% of snaps, if I remember correctly, 60 or 65 percent of snaps. Um, then the Packers get a first round pick out of
Yeah.
that second round conditional pick. So
I think
um,
I think it's I think it's a mostly fair trade for both sides.
I agree.
I did think the
I agree.
Packers got probably a little bit more than I thought they were going to get, though.
Right, because there's people who think, like Aaron Rodgers is up there in age. Essentially, he's just going to go play 1 year and
Yeah,
just call it
there is
quits
a very
anyways,
solid
right?
chance the Jets are going to get one whole year out of him. So
Yeah.
there's that.
However, there's a lot of people who say that the Jets are now the favorites to win that division.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense.
Which I could see. Especially with the whole we don't really know what's happening with Stephon Diggs yet. With the Bills.
Hmm.
There's talks that again he might be potentially getting traded as well before the start of the season.
Yeah, which would
Um,
obviously be a gigantic blow to them. So
yeah, 100%. Um, so again, there's some questions there. The Patriots, they're the Pats right now. It is what it is.
yep.
Just you accept it as a Patriots fan.
The Patriots roster is
Um,
just bad. It's just bad right now.
yeah, yeah, it's good
Like
times.
they also have some guys, but like
Yeah,
you have no weapons. Your
yep,
QB's like the definition of average. You're just not really quite there.
yep. But hey, I can celebrate 6 Super Bowl wins. I'll take it. Um,
Oh boy, he's
and
turning into a Cowboys fan. Oh
and
god.
then we're getting to that point right now, man. It's that frustrating. Um, um, and then you got the Dolphins, who I mean they can definitely surprise some people out there.
Yeah, it just depends on Tua's health, really.
Right. I mean, to his health, and obviously when you got uh probably the best wide receiver duo in the entire league with with Tyreek and Jalen Waddle. That's it's tough to stop that. But
Yeah, very tough.
yeah, but again, I think as a whole, man, I think it's a win. As a Pats fan, it sucks because now I got to deal with Aaron Rodgers twice a year. Um,
Yeah, there is that.
so great, love it. In the past, as a Pats fan, you maybe dealt with the Packers once a year with the Brady Rodgers matchup.
Hmm.
Just because obviously that kind of draws some money, draws some eyeballs. Um, but even then, it didn't. I actually don't even think it happened that much. Now that I think about it, Brady Rodgers, I don't think they played against each other all that often throughout their careers. But
Yeah, I don't think they really did. No.
yeah. Um, but yeah, I think this is a big win for the Jets. I think this is huge. There's a lot of young talent on that team
Hmm.
that can definitely potentially be elevated by having a QB with the caliber of Aaron Rodgers. A lot of people look at Brady and go, Brady is the best quarterback to have ever played the game, which I there's no question of that.
Yep.
But arm talent wise, a lot of people feel that Aaron Rodgers is the best arm talent QB to have ever played the game, and I actually might agree with that.
Yeah. In terms of like a talent perspective, yeah, Aaron Rodgers is probably the best.
Yeah,
With
right.
Brady just being the overall best, just because of
Yeah,
obviously everything he accomplished. So
right. The success, the mindset, the intelligence at that position, and considering where he started from when you think about it.
yeah,
Um,
true. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. No, there's no question there. It'll be interesting to see how Aaron does in New York, and I mean playing in the AFC is no joke, right? It's a pretty tough thing to do. It's a tough
There's
conference as a whole.
lots of good QBs there now.
A lot of good QBs in that conference. And again, I mean that division. isn't again isn't an easy one. When the toughest team you have to face is a team led by Bill Belichick. That's
Yeah.
or the least toughest, not the toughest, least toughest. That's that's saying something. But it'll be interesting, man. He looked happy, right? Like he looked excited to be there. He looked happy walking into the Jets facility today for the first time.
Yeah, that's a good sign, I guess. Although I guess he's probably just excited to get away from the Packers at this point. So
yeah, sure, right. Be able to start fresh and just have a nice new experience with the team that wants to actually do shit for him. So
yep,
it'll definitely be interesting. Definitely be interesting. We'll have to
for sure
keep an eye on it. But in other NFL news, tomorrow's a big day, man. Tomorrow's a big day.
That's huge. Yeah.
We're recording this on a Wednesday night. This is probably going to get posted and go live tomorrow morning, Thursday morning.
We have like a S tier level editor who just like pumps out our content for us.
Yeah, thank you.
He's one of the best in the business, actually.
Appreciate that. Thank you. But yeah, it's it's exciting. Tomorrow night it's going to change the lives, I should say, of a lot of young men.
I'm gonna say it's changed our lives. I'm like, Dave, I don't think it's.
Yeah, no, it is.
I don't think it's that serious, man.
It is definitely not. But it's gonna change the lives of a lot of young men, and allow them to fulfill some dreams and become quite wealthy. Even if it's only for a short amount of time. But it's exciting stuff, and the build up to it. I mean, there's just so much happening in the rumor mill. And the build up to it. I saw something that like the Texans might trade away the second pick, which it's not happening. But I saw that Carolina might not go with Bryce Young, even though that's what literally everybody's been saying.
Yeah, I saw
at this point.
Will Levis said that he's going to be the first overall pick.
Yeah, saw that as well.
I think his betting odds, dude, they went from like plus 4,000 to I think plus 400.
Yeah,
man.
The build up to the draft gets a little crazy when you get into those couple days prior, but a little bit more legitimate stuff happening in the rumor mill. Most recently, two things. One, was literally just announced a couple minutes ago. That Green Bay may actually trade down from the pick that they acquired from the Jets, the 13th pick.
I wonder why. It'd be the perfect spot to take that Ohio State wide receiver.
Yeah, I find that interesting. But yeah, so this is coming from Sports Illustrated. Could look to trade the number 13 pick that they acquired from the Rodgers trade and draft either Michael Mayer, the tight end, or Dalton Kincaid, another tight end in the draft.
Oh, I hear the tight ends in this class are all really good.
Yeah, so that was an interesting one. It's pretty much all been but confirmed that the Eagles may land Bijan Robinson with the 10th pick.
Yeah, that'd be really exciting.
If he falls to them, they're gonna absolutely take him.
But I also saw things that they want to trade up for Jalen Carter. So I think
I saw that too.
How far Carter falls down, we may see an Eagles trade up, and they'll grab him.
Saw that too. Another rumor that came out a little while ago, the Texans might be looking to trade away the number 12 pick instead of the number 2 pick.
That would make more sense, I think.
And still not take a QB with the second pick.
Yeah, dude, if you're the Texans, I understand that the QBs in next draft are supposed to be significantly better. But do you risk that? Do you risk not taking a QB when you're in a perfect spot to?
Yeah. I don't really. I don't really get that one. I mean, I know. So the thought is that they're going to take Will Anderson with the second pick. I guess D'Amico Ryans, their new head coach, obviously is a very defensive minded guy. But has some history with Alabama, of course, and yeah, I mean, Will Anderson Jr. is considered to be one of the top talents in this draft. Period.
Yeah.
So is it, do you risk? Do you possibly risk not taking him? Right, he goes elsewhere, and there's a potentially a key defensive piece that you could have for the future. Which, let's be real, the Texans need somebody at every position. So sure, maybe you do that, and you keep 12, and I'm sure you'll land one of those QBs. I know some mock drafts were saying, I'm looking at one right now, I know some were saying that Will Levis would fall to them at 12, or even potentially Anthony Richardson would fall to them at 12.
I do. Yeah, there's that other guy too, Hendon Hooker, I think, or some crap like that. We're saying he's gonna go in the first round as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very I don't know, it's a very interesting call. I mean, just looking at, so this is Charles Davis's mock draft that I'm looking at right now. So and it was updated as of earlier today. So Bryce Young going number 1, Will Anderson going 2, Paris Johnson Jr., the offensive tackle from Ohio State, going 3, which is kind of
Cardinals, right?
Yeah, to the Cardinals.
I think they should trade out.
Maybe. I mean, they could definitely use some help on the offensive line, and he's definitely a very talented dude, and a lot of people are saying he's going as the first offensive lineman in the draft. So, again, wouldn't be shocked. But again, there's the talk that they may actually trade out of 3. 4 is the Colts. People are saying CJ Stroud is probably going there. Everything I'm hearing, it's like a toss up between Stroud and Richardson. Like that is like everything that I'm seeing and reading and hearing. Most people are leaning.
I saw something.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No. Go ahead.
I saw something where that the Oh, no, I'm wrong. Jesus Christ! For a second, I thought Frank Reich was still the Colts coach.
He is not.
Not, sir. I did see that though, where Frank Reich and the Panthers GM, like they had a conversation. They were like, "This is the QB that we like, and this is who we're taking."
No.
They both agreed on it, so I'm very interested to see who that's going to end up being.
I think everybody agrees. I think that's probably going to be Bryce Young, without question at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah, I keep seeing toss-ups between Stroud and Richardson. The some of the biggest downsides to CJ Stroud is the fact that he was an Ohio State quarterback. And that's it, honestly.
Yeah,
that's honestly it,
dude.
Because everybody immediately then compares Ohio State quarterbacks to past Ohio State quarterbacks to see if they had any sort of success. And none of them ever did.
Company.
Right. None of them ever did. And I don't think that's fair to CJ Stroud.
No, definitely not.
But especially considering the fact that not that long ago he was considered to be potentially the number 1 pick in the draft.
Yeah, I did see that for a little bit.
Yeah. So I find that one interesting. But it sucks, man. Like if I knew I had enough talent to go to the NFL as a quarterback, I would never pick Ohio State. Because I already know my value is just going down because of it.
100%. And if CJ Stroud ends up a bust, I'm telling you right now, no one's drafting an Ohio State QB ever again. It's just not happening.
Yeah. Moving on. Seahawks. Jalen Carter to the Seahawks.
I saw a report that the Seahawks are not taking Jalen Carter.
And I saw that too. But again, this is Charles Davis's mock draft. I'm just going solely based off that. The Lions, who have the 6th pick that they got from the Rams, Devin Witherspoon, corner from Illinois.
Makes sense. Yeah, they need a
was-
cornerback.
Yeah, right. Really solid talent. Pretty soon they might need some wide receivers, but
Fine.
yeah, you could find those later in the draft. Yeah, no, I think yeah would be a good fit if they managed to land him. The Raiders with the 7th pick, Tyree Wilson, the edge from Texas Tech.
Mhm.
So would really help out the pass rush there. Number 8, the Falcons, Christian Gonzalez, corner from Oregon.
Mhm.
Although there has been talks lately, and I've seen this as well. There's been talks lately that they might actually take Bijan Robinson with number 8.
Yeah,
there's actually
fuckers.
some boards that are saying that the Raiders might even take him at 7.
Dude, I want Bijan so bad.
Yeah, which is interesting considering the fact that you got Josh Jacobs, but who, granted, I know is not a franchise tag, and running backs in the NFL anymore. I mean, you feel it. These teams feel like you just grab any top running back whenever the hell you want, kind of deal.
Yeah.
That's one position I probably would never want to play in the NFL. Which is
Your value doesn't hold up really.
Yeah, which is hilarious because that's what I played in high school. But anywho, moving on. 9th pick, the Bears. Going offensive tackle Darnell Wright, from Tennessee. Again, I mean, makes sense. You got to get Fields some help. Yeah, guy can't just be running all over the place forever. And then yeah, the 10th pick being Bijan Robinson, going to Philly.
Man, I'm sure the draft will be absolutely nothing like that.
No, not at all.
It always is.
I think at least 2 teams are going to trade out of that. Like I think the Cardinals will trade out. I don't know who the other team might be. Maybe Seattle. I wouldn't be shocked if they just said fuck it.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if they did that. Yeah,
but yeah, I can see that happening. Titans with the 11th pick. Charles Davis has Anthony Richardson being taken by the Titans.
Yeah, I guess they could use a new QB at this point.
Could they? I mean, they didn't. Are we just giving up on what's his face?
Malik.
I
mean, yeah, but dude, like, think about it. I mean, maybe not, but like, if Anthony Richardson falls to 11, like Anthony Richardson's a better quarterback, so you just take him.
Yeah, I mean, yes, definitely. I don't disagree, but again, we're just giving up already. Essentially, we're already saying we just wasted that pick. Didn't they trade up for that pick too?
Yeah, it was in the 3rd round though, wasn't it?
Was it that late?
Yeah, it wasn't a 1st round pick or anything.
No, I know it wasn't a first rounder,
3rd
but
round.
You might be right.
3rd round QB, like I don't really, if I'm a GM, I'm not really worried about a 3rd round QB.
Nah, I guess you're right. But at the same token, right, you also still have Ryan Tannehill, who has historically been known to not exactly be the greatest mentor or locker room presence when it comes to the QB staff.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know.
The Titans are in a very weird spot right now because it seems like they're like some of their actions are like pointing towards rebuild, but like they're not really like 100% doing it. So, right, you trade AJ Brown.
Yeah.
There's all these rumors you're trading Derrick Henry. You were gonna trade Simmons, and then you suddenly fucking signed his contract. It's like, come on, man.
Yeah, no, that's fair. And then Charles Davis has the Texans taking Will Levis. I mean, if they don't trade out at 12, then yeah, I mean, you take a QB, whoever that QB, might be.
I think the Cardinals are all in on Will Anderson at 3, and I'm assuming if Texans take him at 2, Arizona's definitely going to trade out.
Yeah.
if Texans do take a QB at 2, or if they trade out of 2 and that team takes a QB at 2, Arizona's definitely going to stay and take Will Anderson.
Yeah.
But it all could change heavily if the Cardinals decide to trade out.
Yeah. No, you're not wrong. Definitely not wrong. Like that's what makes the NFL draft just the amazing spectacle that it is, especially that first night. Just all the just the chaos of it, man. Just the chaos, like just not knowing what's gonna happen. Especially this year's draft. Like nothing about the top 10 just all together. Like I don't think there's a single pick in the top 10 this year that you're like, yep, that's who they're taking for sure.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, there might not be a single one.
Yeah. So makes it exciting. It's gonna definitely make for a very entertaining night to say the least. To add to that entertainment, just want to shout out that we will be live reacting. It'll be our first live stream. Be live reacting to the picks as they happen, as they come in. So be sure to check it out. Be sure to tune in. But yeah, man. I mean, NFL draft, man. It's always a good time, and obviously with the NFL being as popular as it is, it's always good to it's always good to see that just that excitement that the fans get, and maybe even the disappointment that the fans get.
Yeah, probably a lot of that.
With each and every pick. I saw a thing. This is the thing I wanted to talk about before. I saw a thing. There was a rumor that the Patriots might try to trade up to the second pick.
What the fuck?
And take a QB. I'm like, nah, man. There's no fucking shot. There's no way.
I don't see Bill Belichick trading up. Period, and especially for
no. There's absolutely zero chance of that. Absolutely zero chance. No, I mean, dude, it's the fucking Patriots. They're gonna take some boring ass pick. The dude's gonna be an efficient player throughout his career because it's the Pats. Like that's just how it's gonna go down.
They're gonna take a defensive end that every other team had graded in the 3rd round.
Yep.
They're gonna take him at their 1st round pick, and everyone's gonna be like, you know what? He was pretty good in college. He performed decently well, and he ends up being an average player his entire NFL career.
Yep. That's how that goes down. That's how that goes down. Did you see the clip of Jerry Jones, his son, and Mike McCarthy? They were having a press conference, and the question was asked, like, how do we get to the next step, right? Like, how do we finally win that Super Bowl again and stuff like that?
Mm-hmm.
He's like, what do you pinpoint it on? Is it the drafting? Is it, like what's happening? And as we all know, like Jerry Jones is a very hands-on owner. I mean, he essentially he makes the calls as far as the draft process goes.
Yeah.
And with Mike McCarthy sitting right next to him, he goes, "Oh, the drafting's not the problem. The coaching is."
Yikes.
I was like, whoa. Now, granted, everybody laughed and had a good chuckle, but I think, like, deep down, he's probably actually looking at this dude going, what? Like, brother, you're actually shit. I was like, damn. It's like, god damn.
Yeah, dude, the Cowboys, I don't know. I feel like the Cowboys should always be so much better than they end up being.
Yeah.
And I can't really pinpoint, like, what the problem is. Number one, I think Dak is not very good. I mean, he's good, but he's not, like... I don't think he's Super Bowl winning level.
No, I mean, he hasn't proven it yet.
Yeah. And their offensive play calling has definitely been suspect the past, like, 3 or 4 years. And the one thing that they do have going for them is their defense has gotten way better. So there's that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, if this is another, like, year where the Cowboys either don't make the playoffs or they're eliminated early in the playoffs, Mike McCarthy is 100% getting fired. 100%.
Oh, god, yeah. God, yeah. It's
Jerry Jones,
win or bust.
He's too old for this shit. He's gonna fucking die any day now. He
Yeah.
can't be waiting for a
Yeah.
Super Bowl
No,
at this point.
it is definitely win or bust for them for the upcoming season. I mean, there's no doubt, no doubt about it. Yeah, without question, without question. But yeah, man. And it's NFL draft, man. It's always an exciting time. It's always great to see all the reactions and the thoughts of and just poor takes on players' futures and how what people think of them. And
Mhm.
I saw a picture earlier today. A guy named Brent Bowers, who I believe worked within the Cleveland organization, or maybe was a reporter there. I'm not entirely sure, but
Yeah.
he's affiliated with Cleveland in some sort of capacity, whether it was the Browns, the city of Cleveland, whatever. Um, he tweeted out on this day, 10 years ago,
Mhm.
tweeted out saying that he's like, I don't know where you'll be in 20 years, but I will be at Trent Richardson's Hall of Fame induction ceremony. And Trent's got some work to do in these next 10 years if that's happening.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
it's gonna be it's a bit of a stretch.
yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if it's looking good for him, but
Oh God, it's so crazy to think back through the years, like all these guys that were considered to be like these top talents and guys who were looked at as having so much potential. I mean, you look at like Johnny Manziel being a great example. Um,
yeah,
you look at
Johnny Manziel will be bigger in Cleveland than
yeah,
LeBron James
yeah,
ever was.
yep. You look at Jamarcus Russell back, back in the day, almost 20 years ago at this point, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Um,
Did you notice that a lot of these guys who end up as busts are always guys who don't have good work ethics?
oh, that's always what it comes down to. 100%. They reached their point, right? They got to where they wanted, right? I was watching the
Mhm.
Pat McAfee show earlier today, and he had Deion Sanders on the show. And
Mhm.
Deion was talking about it, and it was such a great point. Like a lot of these guys, like their heart isn't necessarily in the game. Their heart is to just make the money. So once they get to the points where it's like, all right, I got the money, I'm good. I've
Yep.
accomplished what it is that I'm trying to accomplish. At that point, they don't care anymore.
Yep.
And that's what it is. I think for Manziel, I think the spotlight just got to him. I think he just came in way too arrogant, way too hot headed,
Yeah.
and just let it consume him at that point.
Mhm.
Um, I remember the Johnny football days. Like I remember being home watching Sports Center and like in an hour long episode of Sports Center, 50 minutes of it consisted of LeBron and Johnny Manziel. Like that was 50
Yeah.
minutes of it every single day. Like that's all it
Yeah.
ever was. It was LeBron and Johnny football. That's it. That's all you ever saw.
Mhm.
Um, and so when you're young like that, like obviously it's it's easy to kind of let that get to your head a little bit. And honestly, I think that's what happened with Manziel there. But
Yep.
and I mean, let's be real, Cleveland hasn't exactly been the greatest organization over the years. So I'm
All the
sure
Browns suck, let's be
yeah,
honest.
I'm sure that didn't help too much there.
I remember
But
toward, like, the end of him, like of his career in Cleveland, I remember,
yeah,
like, almost every day you'd see a new report. Johnny Manziel caught in the club. Johnny Manziel caught drunk
yep,
here, going to
yep,
jail here. It's like, Jesus, man.
yep,
He was like every day with it. It's like,
yep,
dude, why can't you just fucking stay home one day? Like,
yep.
just chill out.
Yeah, Johnny Manziel on his phone during practice. Johnny Manziel on his phone during practice. Like you kept hearing this like just over and over and over again. Just yeah, it was nonstop. It's nonstop with the guy. Yeah,
Pretty bad,
just
man. Pretty bad.
yeah. I mean, I guess it could be worse, right? You could have been betting on NFL games uh
Yeah,
or could have shot someone, could have shot yourself in the leg. You know what I mean? Like
true. True.
could have done all that. So. And I mean, hey, he had a decent run in the Canadian Football League, so yeah,
Yeah.
he did something.
Yeah. He was
He
fun to
did something.
watch. I'll give him that.
he definitely had his moments as a college QB. He definitely had his moments. I definitely was one of those people who was, sometimes in awe of what he was doing. But I knew right away, soon as he declared for the draft, I knew right then and there. I remember saying it to this day. I was like, nope, he ain't gonna be shit.
No,
And
especially not
here we
on
are.
the most of the teams he would have went to.
Yep.
I think he would have had a chance if he went to a team that was like considered a well-run organization. Even then, I don't think it would have been like successful, but
Yeah.
I think he would have had a much better chance of actually making it.
Yeah. Well, that's fair. It's fair. But it's gonna be exciting, man. It's gonna be exciting. I'm stoked. Excited to see what happens. I'm excited to see where everybody goes, where everybody falls. Should be fun, man. Should be fun. Like I said, we'll be live for it, even if you're not, if you're doing whatever. At the very least, I will be. We may or may not have a special guest joining us as well.
Yeah.
To kind of live react with us. And just so we're clear, I will not be broadcasting it on the stream because that's illegal.
Way to get your YouTube channel deleted.
Exactly.
I say we do it. I say we just do it.
It just full send.
Dave, this is our way out.
I was gonna. Oh, right. Yeah, good point. Good point.
This is how we go out in style, dude.
I was gonna play the audio of it. You know what I mean? I just wasn't gonna show it. I feel like that is likely okay. Probably not gonna get shut down midstream.
You probably would. They probably wouldn't slam you for audio. I don't think.
Yeah.
Unless there's like a lot of copyright-written music that plays.
Yeah, true. Yeah, there's that. There's that. So
I
might
AI
be
bot catches that shit.
I might just be on like volume control the entire night. This should be
yeah.
Fun.
When you see them go to commercial, you're probably just fucking
right. When they're going to commercial,
just turn it down or mute it.
Yeah, maybe in between picks, just turn it down. Just kind of go from there. But it'll be fun. It'll be fun though. I'm excited. But guys, it's gonna do it. Gonna do it for this episode. Appreciate you listening. Appreciate you tuning in. Appreciate you hanging out.
No problem, bro.
Oh, thanks. I wasn't saying thanks to you, but thanks. But yeah. NFL draft, man. I'm excited. It's gonna be a good one. As always, be sure to check us out on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, and be sure to like, comment, subscribe right here on YouTube. Check us out over on Spotify and Apple Podcasts as well, wherever you may get your podcast from. Yeah, first live stream. It's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be fun. But until then, as always, stay safe out there. Be kind to one another. Love one another. Adios. Peace out. We'll catch you guys live with the NFL draft. Take care.
Bye-bye.